Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. I think every now and then we sit back and we say to ourselves, we're very lucky to have been able to get what we have gotten when it comes to some of our hobbies, in particular comics. So with all these crazy price increases, and it's again not just through comics but in video games and other hobbies, I could just sit back and say I was lucky to have gotten some of the books that I was able to get over the last few years instead of trying to get them right now. Now, I can understand some of the frustration that some collectors have right now. They could be old-time collectors or new collectors. It doesn't matter. At some of the prices of some of these books, I'm with you. I'm a little frustrated at some of them. But with that frustration, I think we should just all take a step back and just be a little thankful for what we have. So what I did was I gathered some books, just a handful of books, not too many, that I'm just happy I purchased them when I did. And I'll tell you when I got them and all of that. So we'll start off with this one right here. You're like, oh, are you seriously starting off with Spider-Man Noir #1? That's not even the variant cover. Well, so what? I paid $1.25 for this. I mean, that's before shipping on eBay. And this book is probably like a 9.6. It might even very well be a 9.8. Okay? As a matter of fact, I picked up the whole series for about $1.25, $1.75. I think one was $1.75. But very, very, very cheap. This was about maybe 3 years ago in 2018 when I was really building my Spider-Man collection. I had just purchased an Amazing Fantasy 15, so I was trying to get all the Spider-Man books. And I remember Spider-Man Noir from the video game Shattered Dimensions. I said, oh, that's another book I got to get, and I did. Apparently no one else cared. Now, I mean, I think the book is probably a little over $100. I don't know if it went down or whatever. So it's not that expensive, But I'm just glad I got it when I did, Spider-Man Noir is a character that I like, but I don't know if I'd want to pay over $100 for his first appearance. So that's why I say I'm lucky I got it for what I did. Here's another one that I think a lot of us are lucky. Now, this one's probably maybe a 9.6, 9.4, 9.6, so it's not ultra high grade, but I paid about $20 for it, maybe $26 shipped. Ultimate Fallout #4. Again, not the super very expensive variant cover, okay? For those that were lucky enough to pick those up, or those of you that were of mind to pick that up in addition to this one, good for you. But I was lucky to get this for what I did when I did. This is what? In the condition I just said, what, $400 or $500, maybe a little more. I know I wouldn't have spent that much on Miles Morales. So, just count my blessings. Now here's another one that I think a lot of people have been going bonkers over. Again, this is filmed in the early spring into the summer of 2021. So I don't know what this book is going to be going for down the line. But for right now, at this time period, it's going for a crazy amount. This is my 7.5 copy of Marvel Spotlight #5. This is something that you've seen on my channel many times over. But, when I came back to the hobby back in 2014, and I paid what I paid for that, I thought I overpaid a little. It was around $200, maybe $175, $200. I was like, wow, that's a lot for Ghost Rider. But I was like, they're going for a little bit more. They usually went for about $250. When you get into the 8.5s at that time, they were around $300. So I'm like, I don't want to spend $300 on Ghost Rider. So I bit the bullet and paid that. Well, now, I can't believe what that is going for. It just doesn't seem... although I'm happy that it's going for such a high price, but it's just, I just can't imagine spending a couple $1,000s on a 7.5 or an 8.0 Ghost Rider. It just, to me, it just doesn't make sense, but buy what you like, right? Apparently people are doing just that. Another, when I came back to the hobby in 2014, this was one of the first books I purchased because, I've often heard people say in the comments, and I've often heard people say on Facebook and on in videos, buy what you love and all that stuff. Well, at that time I was going for what I loved, and this was one of them, X-Men 94. This is another book that I think was in, my copy's probably 7580, probably more likely an 80, but so it's not super ultra high grade, but it's still pretty expensive. But that's another book that, I think stayed at a certain price range for a long period of time, a few $100 range, and occasionally it'll go up and go down. Now it's shot up to several thousand. It's really something. And that was a book that I really wanted for a long time, even back when I first started collecting in the early 90s, and I was able to finally get it when I came back several years ago. And to see what it's going for now, I'm just glad I got it when I did. Here's another one I got around that time that I upgraded my previous copy. I shouldn't have sold my previous copy. It was like a 3.0, I think. But this one was an upgrade, but not the highest of upgrades. Giant size, 6.5. I think this goes for, what, a couple thousand now? It's much different than what it was going for a few years ago, but we could say that about any book in any of these videos that I make when it comes to crazy prices. They're not going for what they used to. No, they are not. And that makes me sit back and just be a little thankful. Here's another one. I think I told this story before with Fantastic Four number 48. Okay. Again, this was another book that was really not going anywhere for a while. Then a couple of years ago, there was some interest in it, and it started to go up. And of course, now with the prices that we're going through in 2021, it reaches a new high and all of that. But I remember back in 2015, I was attempting to sell that book. As you can see, it's a 5.5, so it's a mid-grade book. I was going to sell it for anywhere between $270 and $300. That's what I wanted. Because I was like, well, Silver Surfer, I like him, but I really want to fund trying to get some more of those big Batman books, right? So I could try to get as much as I can. And I was like, well, I don't really want to sell it, but maybe I'll sell it. So I put it up for sale on Facebook, and I think I had it up on eBay for a while. Okay, so no one's interested, right? Of course, no one's interested in Fantastic Four 48 back then. One guy contacted me. He says, you offered a really low price. I don't know what it was, but I know it was low. And he says, well, I can't see myself paying that much for that book. And I was like, oh, all right. And I just gave up. I was like, I guess nobody really wants it. And I just put it back in the collection. And I said, well, I like Silver Surfer. I guess I'll just keep it. And if it's not going to get that much, it's not really going to help me for some of these bigger Batman keys. So I was like, the hell with it. I'll just keep it. I'm glad I did. And the last one, a very low grade 1.5 copy. Again, I was just lucky to get it when I did. And I got it, I would say probably a year, a little less than a year before it really started to heat up. And now, of course, it's really very much so on fire. Fantastic Four number 1. I was never a big fan of Fantastic Four, but I liked the first issue. I never heard before reading, before I really got into comics. Of course, I've known about Spider-Man and Superman and all that stuff. I never heard of the Fantastic Four. So when I got the reprint, I read it. I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And as years gone on, I came back to the hobby. I was like, well, it'd be nice to get a first Fantastic Four number 1, but I don't know. And when the opportunity presented itself at my local comic book shop, I took it. And I'm glad I did. Low grade or not, I'm just happy to have it. It's just pretty cool to have the first Fantastic Four. It'd be cooler if I had it in a higher grade, but I don't. So those are just some books that I'm just happy to have, grateful to have. Sometimes you got to count your blessings. I'll make a few more videos like this, but in the comments, tell me what you think. What are some books that you're just very happy to have that you were able to get maybe before the price boom, before the price explosion on some of these books? I'm sure some of you, there are some books out there that have gone up, like some of the books I've shown you in this video, that you just pat your brow of the sweat saying, oh, geez, thank goodness I got that before what's going on now. So just I'd be interested in knowing in the comments. Thank you for watching, everybody, and take care.